Yes,
in Earth. So
on
you
Earth,
will
yeah.
work through those existing spiritual workers,
Correct.
energy workers.
Energy workers. Energy workers could be anyone. You could be an energy worker, right? So anyone can be an energy worker. Everybody is an energy worker, but specific situation or scenario, you have people who are around. So you will walk through them.
So
Now
you,
they could be doctors, they could be nurses, they could be volunteering work, they could be charities, right? So you will work with all of them.
so they could be even teachers and
Yes,
professors and
absolutely,
scientists,
absolutely.
anyone who helps
Yes, yes,
others.
yes.
Anyone who wants to help other, you provide them a support,
Correct. You will anchor through them.
anchor through them,
Yeah.
but you remain in the astral world.
Correct. You remain incognito, right? Your energy, you are disseminating that energy and you are working through them. So you do that kind of work.
So everything is energy there
Everything is energy because there's nothing that you can actually relate to, right?
in the spiritual world.
In the spiritual world.
So
Yeah.
basically, there are different types of energy. One is a healing energy, calming energy, innovation energy,
Correct.
music energy.
Correct.
So you keep passing
Yeah.
on
Correct.
those energy from the astral world to the spiritual workers on the earth station,
Exactly.
and they in turn pass it on to the people who need that.
Correct. And Baba is reminding and saying, beautiful chapter on resurrection of Yukteswar Giri Maharaj. If you keep reading, it's very heavy reading, but it tells you about the different planets, planes, where the soul goes and where it rejuvenates itself and where it again comes back. So you have the choice, right? It's like saying at the soul level, you are balmed, you are healed, you are giving the choice what you want to do next. And then when you are ready, you sit across and another birth. And remember, every birth that you are taking is only for your spiritual enhancement. There is no other agenda. How awake you have been birth after birth. You hear things like saying it's a very old soul. You can feel it at the spiritual level if you have that connect. You can feel that the souls that you interact with. Some are very frivolous. You can say from their energy. They're very young souls, right? Yeah, it's all about your spiritual growth. How fast you want to free yourself and become a master yourself, or become a monk or a saint or a spiritual worker yourself. So then again you negotiate depending on your previous karmic impressions. Many times you get a grace. All your last karmic impressions are completely wiped off for you. You restart, you are, unwind, and you're programmed again at a very fresh level, and you come back, right? So therefore, you'll find a lot of souls from a very young age are very spiritually inclined, not with age, but from a very young birth. They're very spiritually inclined because they've come with that kind of memory. They want to move on with how they have been programmed, right? Yeah,
So you're saying it is not the material reasons, it is the spiritual
correct.
progress we come to this
Correct.
earth. But actually, very few of human beings are engaged into spiritual activities where everyone is engaged into material
Right.
activities.
You can be born in poverty but have a very spiritually elevated soul connect. But you are born in poverty because you need that deprivation so that you are not attracted by the Maya around you. You understand? Right.
Right.
Because if you again are in that environment,
Of
then what
opulence
has
and
been your learning of opulence, correct?
opulence and richness,
Yeah.
you might get attracted to opulence and richness,
Correct.
which is matter and
Correct.
material.
But again, you might be born in a very opulent family of your past karmic cycle, and you need to exhaust that energy, right? But if when you are in that energy, are you remembering the reason why you exist, and why you are enjoying what you are enjoying?
So in Bhagavad Gita it is said, Suchinam Srimatam Gehe Yoga Vrashta Abhijayate, which means a Yoga Vrashta or a person like soul gets rebirth in a Suchinam and Srimatam, that means in a pious and a opulent family. So is that a negotiated one, or is it been given as a gift that if you have progressed a lot, then you will be given a gift of not to struggle with the basics of life, and therefore you can actually continue to.
It works both ways. So this is very complex, Baba Singh, because we will really not get into this, but I'm giving a bigger picture.
Okay.
So it can be both ways. I just said you could be born in a very materially deprived family, but it could be a very pious family, right?
Correct.
So the purpose of that birth is not to get you distracted. Stories we have heard from the past, where you have very big souls born in very impoverished conditions, right? Or in very materially deprived homes, right? They come for that purpose. So even if you're born in opulence, yes, you are thankful, you're in prayers, you remember your Lord and Master, you're in a very ritualistic way of worship. Spirituality has nothing to do with being ritualistic. Ritualistic is one baggage that you carry, and one by what you see, you hear, and you are trained from the immediate family you are born into, correct? So you might pick up those ritualistic traits. But being ritualistic, being spiritual, so it will work both ways for you. So in short, don't make it too long. In short, as I said, when you explored everything, and now your soul is ready for the next chapter, sit with your Lord and Master, then the guiding angels hand you over, right? They hand you over to your Lord and Master. And guiding angels are angels who actually are all the time actually deprived of a physical body. So it's a very hard, very difficult existence at a soul level,
Right.
as an angel, So you're only doing that kind of work. You're like a universal worker, spiritual worker, correct? So then you are handed over, and then then it's a complete one-on-one, in closed doors, right? When you have your catch up, there's no one else with you.
So once the decision has been taken that you will be reborn, then it is a more one-on-one catch-up with one of the spiritual masters or workers to work out the rest of your
Correct.
birth, the
Correct.
details of your birth and the
Yes.
journey.
Correct.
That's what the destiny that you chalk out.
Correct. People may choose to be born disabled, right? Mentally challenged. They get born in families. So that is a very soul connect, right? Where you're born, which family you get born, which parents you choose. It is all as per your next journey, on how much you have to progress, how much karmic cycle you've got to write off, how much karmic cycle from past you have to finish, like you've got to replenish, right? And how much of that is going to help you in your spiritual enhancement.
Right.
So it's a very mixed bag. So it is all I can say, like life after death, primarily homecoming in a very safe environment. Then you are calmed, you are exploring everything, trying to understand where you are, where you have come back, which home you have come back to, right? So you're moving everywhere, right? In your own home, don't you do that? You move from one room to another, so you do all of that, correct? You do a reiki of your environment that you are in, right? And then you say, okay, now I'll chill, right? You chill, different souls. You go through that experience at a soul level, going to different realms, different planets. There's a lot of worlds that exist there. There are a lot of alien world that is there. Depending on whether you are allowed to interact or not, with your constant companions as your gurus, your guiding angels. But you're given an exposure to those realms to some extent. Maybe you can step in, or maybe just from outside, like a glass environment, you will observe, check out everything. And when you've complete done a full Reiki, basically you need to be at peace, right? Where you come back, you need to be at peace, and then you negotiate again. That okay, you still want to be part of the souls that you have been with in your past lives. You can, most of the time that's what happens.
People go back to the same
Correct.
family or group.
Correct, yeah, but you don't know that you've been there earlier, right? Or it may be completely a mixed bag. Yes, so when you get to that stage, then when that life after death, the soul's life after death, and when that cycle is over, then you are again into a new cycle. You are recycled, you are repackaged, right? And you are again presented again
As another newborn baby.
and a newborn baby in a different world.
I'll stop here and use it as a part 2 because I have plenty of questions, so I'll stop this part one here.
Yeah, Baba Singh, we'll continue on the part 2 on a different time, but
I just have a couple of questions, Baba. Just allow me to.
that is okay, Baba
Okay.
Singh, but don't
Okay.
make it too long, then the whole essence gets lost.
Yes, I know that. I'll just stop it here and ask a question answer session.